The epic conclusion to Guardians of the Galaxy is out now in theaters. We're going to tell you what we think. Stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Kiren
Dom.
Today we're going to do a movie review of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. We just literally stepped out of the theater right now. It's really fresh in our minds. I thought it was an amazing movie, very epic. What did you think?
Yeah, agree with you. That's probably... I just seeing... I probably have to think about it longer, but just right off the bat, I think it is probably like the strongest... One of the stronger Marvel movies in general.
Yeah, it was kind of... I wouldn't say it exceeded my expectations, but it was satisfying.
Yeah.
It was...
It definitely met them pretty well.
Yeah, it kind of had everything, like, all from all the previous Guardians movies. It was long, too. It was like...
I didn't
two and a half. I kind of felt it a little bit,
right.
But not in a bad way. I think it was more of I had to go to the bathroom, and I didn't want to like miss the movie.
Right.
But yeah, it was one of those things. It's just like one epic thing after the other.
Yeah, you would think like sometimes some parts of it you like felt like, oh, it's okay. This is starting to, and wonder if this is gonna start lagging now, and then nope, switch it up and good pacing.
Yeah, it definitely kind of does its job of like keeping you kind of on your toes throughout the movie. This is very Rocket Raccoon like story driven.
Yes.
You really kind of see his origins, and I thought the villain was really cool too.
Yes. They do a good job of making you hate him.
Yeah, and I think I recognize him from Peacemaker too. He was in that, so I can see this sort of James Gunn, like he always sort of picks.
He works with the same people.
Yeah.
Or when he finds someone he likes to work with, he'll keep working with them as much as he can.
But overall, I thought it was a perfect movie to kind of end the Guardians. I'm not going to say much right now because we don't want to talk about spoilers, but we will talk about spoilers. But I give it a thumbs up, really good.
Very good.
I thought it was crowd pleasing enough, and
but it wasn't pandering. Yeah.
Yeah. It had enough of James Gunn's, like, they let him do what he does best, which is good, and I'm hoping the future MCU movies are going to, like, do this, like, let directors kind of do their own thing.
Yeah, share their voice.
But let's that was our review, but this next part is going to be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie, I advise you to go see it right now and come back to the channel and let us know what you think.
It's really good.
Yeah, it's good. So... Rocket Raccoon. This was kind of like, I know Rocket Raccoon is a CG character, but man, like
that's with all like the crap that Marvel's been getting with the CG and how it's not looking. This is probably like the best it's looked since Endgame.
Oh yeah, I mean the special effects, but like just you can see the the terror in Rocket Raccoon's eyes because. It starts out basically...
That definitely hit me in the feels.
Yeah. it starts out kind of showing Rocket Raccoon in a cage, and he's like a little baby. And there's a hand reaching out to him, and he's sort of like... And you kind of know this is like the...
Yeah, you see how terrified he is, and
Yeah, and you kind of know where the film's going. Like, it's going to be about him, which is, I think, was a smart move because, I've always loved Rocket Raccoon as a character, and...
Yeah, they really let the character shine.
Yeah.
Bradley Cooper did a good job voicing him again.
Yeah, for sure. So we get introduced pretty early. Adam Warlock shows up.
Yes.
And he's kind of like just...
He's kind of like Drax was in the first movie, but he's trying to go against the Guardians rather than help them out. But he's also kind of not really... It's not really his like motivation. It's just to do what he's told, basically.
Yeah, so kind of like what I sort of predicted. He wasn't really a villain, but he kind of started off as like, okay, I need to like destroy the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then it,
right.
Obviously, it turns out he's kind of like a good guy. But it was a good way to kind of get the movie going, and Rocket gets injured, and the team kind of realizes. Because Rocket Raccoon's basically this, he's like kind of like biomechanical.
He's like a kind of like, I guess, a cyborg.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like he's like got machine parts and
Yeah, but basically the whole thing is, at least the first part of the movie is like, they can't help him out because there's like a failsafe code in his machine, in the cybernetics, so they have to go find the code to help him.
Yeah, so it kind of like, starts the journey to help Rocket, but while he's kind of like, under, or he's kind of in a he's like
he's kind of, they just pretty much like have him knocked out or sedated.
Yeah, sedated. And while he's sedated, they kind of show flashbacks of his origin story.
Every time they do the flashbacks, it's like, oh god.
Yeah, it's very, if you're like an animal person, or if you've ever been to like the Pound or like any kind of like animal shelter, it's like very,
pretty much any kind of empathy ever.
Yeah. And it shows him being experimented on. It's very dark. Like I was surprised how like kind of dark they went with this movie.
Yeah, especially with how colorful and kind of upbeat the other ones were. I mean, they had their moments, but not like this one.
Yeah. So the main villain, they call him the High Evolutionary. He basically is this person who is experimenting on these animals to kind of create a new like breed of like. He's
trying to create the perfect society or something like that.
Yeah, and so Rocket basically was kind of like, he was sort of, I'm gonna say like he was like a freak accident, but he was like super smart and he was able to figure out a formula that he wasn't. So
that kind of drove him, the High Evolutionary, a little crazier, because he was already crazy to begin with. But
yeah, because I think he felt a little like jealous because he basically created Rocket Raccoon, but Rocket Raccoon was like
able to figure stuff out he wasn't.
Yeah, so in turn, he basically, Rocket Raccoon figured out this formula. So these creatures, like, because before he was mutating these creatures, like like
he was advancing their evolution.
Yeah, but they were kind of becoming too aggressive when they were like fully grown into these creatures. But Rocket figured out the formula, and the High Evolutionary was like, oh, I got to keep him around so he can kind of like help me
and study his brain
and study him and everything. But he ends up just like basically using him, and Rocket Raccoon like kind of has a bunch of these friends while he's in the cage. There's like
they're pretty much test subjects to get to kind of further the society the High Evolutionary is trying to set up.
Yeah, so there's that kind of he befriends them, and those become like his like friends from his past, and a lot of like sad moments, like they get killed, and there's this moment where Otter, I forgot her name, Lila, she's like a kind of a otter / biomechanical kind of experiment, and she ends up dying, and it's just like, wow, like this is probably the most emotional, and it's like literally CG characters.
Yeah.
And it's like, conjuring up that much emotion. And it was really well done.
Who's cutting onions?
But yeah, and then, I think just like the other team members, this movie was sort of like a coming of age film, like everybody kind of finding their own voice, working together, even like, at the end, like, what do you call, Star-Lord sort of like, decides like, I need to like go back home, and, he hears his, or he thinks about his grandfather and thinks like, oh, if he was alive, he'd be in his 90s, and he doesn't like ever want to, like, he's kind of avoiding going back home.
Yeah, it's pretty much dealing with, most of the people are just dealing with their traumas, and
it's sort of but it was just really, it was kind of a, I was expecting more deaths, I guess. Because there is a scene where Star-Lord like,
you think he's gonna die,
and then like I was like, oh, they're gonna like do it, they're gonna kill him off, and he's looking like Toxic Avenger, like he's like floating in space, and his like head starts to kind of expand. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna like, and then Adam Warlock saves him. But yeah, I think that was one critique I'll have about the movie, is I was expecting more like
some finality.
Yeah, some more huge character deaths. Even though they kind of at the end they went their separate ways.
Right.
They still kind of left it open ended
Mm-hmm.
with like future movies and
Yeah. They definitely they gave it some finality, but they still left it open to do more with the characters if the right person comes around to do that.
Yeah, I mean, because definitely even in the after credit scene, they sort of
They kind of
like
set
the
up
new
another
iteration of
yeah.
the Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Rocket is the commander now, or the captain,
Yes.
and Groot's in there, and then you got
Kraglin.
Is that Kraglin? Okay.
Kraglin, Cosmo, the good dog, Adam Warlock, and this little girl who in the comic books is a somewhat prominent figure in the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the other test subjects or like creations that
It's supposed to be in the next society that he was going to do.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was lots of action.
It's very dense.
Yeah, I'll probably have to rewatch it just to kind of like
pick up,
get more information because it was like but at the same time it was really well paced. It was an overall like good movie.
Mm-hmm. Definitely set up for a Star-Lord solo.
Oh yeah, at the end they kind of Star-Lord's hanging out with his grandfather, and it says like, okay, Star-Lord will return. I'm like, I wonder if they're talking about like Secret Wars or something, or
could
they're probably just like they have no idea. They're like, whatever, we have to keep this guy in our IP, gotta keep him going. But yeah, I hope they kind of I mean, in the future have another movie. I don't know if James Gunn will direct. I think he's done with Marvel right now. Cause
he's busy with DC for at least 10 years.
But yeah, I mean, this is actually giving me lots of hope with DC. Just him being the head of DC now with like...
I mean, his Suicide Squad was really good. Peacemaker was really good. So yeah, I'm excited to see what he does with DC.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder.
The damage is done.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, we recommend this movie. See it in the theater. Don't wait for it to stream or
definitely a theater movie.
And if you love action, if you love drama, if you want to cry a little bit, go see this movie. But that's pretty much it. Well, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoy that. As always, if you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe below. Let us know your thoughts on Volume 3. We loved it. We would love to hear what you think. On that note, we will catch you guys next time.
Peace.